Yeah.
And to kind of, this is kind of like, because I mentioned before we went on that it's just me doing it now.
Yep.
Because there's so much content, I've actually gone away from not paying attention as much to WWE because
Mm-hmm.
between AEW, Impact, and honestly, I'm trying to pay attention more to the indie scene more than
Yeah.
anything else. I actually got the subscription to IWTV, and I was trying to watch everything this weekend, and I'm more interested, honestly,
Mm,
um, to seeing what happens with the indies because the guys I talk to, like you, like Marcus,
mm.
like a few others, and just I hate to say it like this, but WWE's kind of burned a couple of bridges for me,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
how
They
they
have.
treated people.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's nice to know. And honestly, if we can shine a light on what else is going on out there, as
Yeah.
opposed to WWE, I'm all for it. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like with Marcus, he's like I said, about 2 years, maybe a little over 2 years he's been wrestling, but like he's got knowledge, so much knowledge under his belt, and like just the names he's wrestled in the indies, like he's almost got like 5, 6. It's almost like he's really 5, 6 years experience under his belt now. Like it's crazy, but he's only young. He's only been about over 2 years. It's just so crazy. Like where I was when I was in 2 years, I was nowhere near that level. I was like, what?
Well, he also has the benefit of
Yeah.
his dad.
Yep. Yeah.
Uh, and I remember when I talked to him, like because I didn't know his dad was Mark Angel. When I asked the question,
Yeah. Yeah.
your parents behind it? He goes, well, my dad's a wrestler, so yeah. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, he always, yeah, he would travel with his dad, and he was just little. I knew him when he was just a little kid. Like, almost, he actually maybe knew him when he was a baby. And this, he always, dad would take him to shows, and like it was just embedded into him in such a young age.
yeah, no, I mean, yeah, he mentioned that he's known you for a very long time too,
Very long time, yeah.
and it's just it's so different because like my family when I as a kid I was interested in becoming a wrestler, and I remember trying to talk to my family about it, and my dad was like all negative about it just because
Yeah,
he didn't. I still stand behind my dad's in his 50s. He does not understand what wrestling is and why there's such a draw to it or anything like that.
yeah.
And
It's just,
sorry, go ahead.
it's like experience. Like it's hard to describe. It's almost like a lot of people say, well, why do you do this? Like, why do you broke your ankle? I suffered my shoulder back in 2012. They're like, why do you still do this? Why do other people do that? I'm like, well, you can get hurt anyway, anywhere you get hurt, but it's just such a rush and such an adrenaline. It's just, we love it so much as a passion. Like it's just undescribable how like it's just so to describe when you're in that ring and you feel that energy from a crowd, because I'm a crowd guy. I'm not really a moves guy. I always was a crowd guy.
Mhm.
So
Right.
it's just so it's hard to explain. It's just but it's just like the best feeling in the world. It's like, oh my god, and it's like a drug. You just can want more and more and more of it.
Right, right. Well, I mean, that's from the performance perspective, but
Hmm.
like I've talked with him. I'm like, some of the guys that do this stuff are more athletic than the football players you watch,
Oh yeah. Oh hell yeah. Oh hell yeah.
And I showed him a clip. I can't remember his name, but basically it was a football player that converted over to wrestling, and he was talking about training for wrestling and how it was killing him
Yeah.
because it was so much harder than football. And I'm like, you gotta understand, like, I get it that you like wrestling, and like, I'm not going to use real competition as a word, but you're more into it because it's not choreographed, it's not
Hmm.
predetermined. So I can get that, but at the same time, you can't use the excuse of, well, it's harder. It's
Yeah.
not. If you're thinking that you're going to a fight that's not maybe predetermined, you have to make sure you're doing everything in your damn power to not hurt yourself and not hurt the person that you're in the ring with.
Exactly.
Football, they
Yeah.
don't give a fuck if you hurt the other
Exactly.
person.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it, big time. When you're a professional wrestler, it's just,
Mhm.
a lot of people don't understand like what, and then it's just the tolls we take on our body and physically and mentally. Like it's just a lot.
Right, and I'm not saying that you do this. I'm sure there's
Yeah.
plenty of wrestlers
Oh yeah.
that they finish the day the match or anything, and they're in the back just like, oh man, did I fuck that up? Didn't I do something
Yeah.
terrible?
I see it all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I can understand, especially if you're not getting the crowd reaction that you're expecting or wanting.
Yeah.
So, but it's cool. Like we like in talking again, going back to what you and I discussed earlier. with talking to you, it's definitely good to hear that you're paying attention to the psychological aspect of it, because
Hmm.
it sucks to say this, but there's some people out there that are even on TV that
Yeah.
don't really take that into consideration.
Yeah, it's a shame. Like and I'm like, well, I always, I think I said this last time when we talked. Like, no one, like, I feel like no one really wrestles like me. Like, I'm really my own style. Like, I definitely mostly comedy and gimmick, but like I have my own, and it's like old school stuff too. But like,
Hmm.
I really like broke this down to a science where like this is my formula and this is the way
Hmm.
I want to do things, and I
Hmm.
know if I do it this way, the crowd's gonna go this way. If we do it that way, they'll go that way.
Mm.
Just
Yeah,
a lot of experience.
yeah. It's weird because, like, I mean, in the sense, like, I grew up in the '90s, so a lot of that's where
Hmm.
I'm more familiar with. And with when you see stuff today, like, I do like the high flyers. I give them a ton of respect.
Oh yeah, it's
But
great. I love all the different flavors of wrestling out there. It's just, it makes it even more creative, and it gives us more ideas what to do and stuff.
right, but what I was gonna get to is the thing I don't like is the high flyers that don't put any other effort into it, or
Yeah,
like in building the character and whatnot. So, like, for instance, Matt Sydal is a high flyer, but he's more of a kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? He's more of a hippie high
yeah,
flyer.
yeah, yeah.
Like, you know who that person is, but there's other high flyers. You just like, okay, you just jump. What else
Yeah.
you got?
Yeah,
You
else
know?
you got, yeah. And I guess there's more one dimensional. There is a lot of
Yeah.
guys that stuck in that one dimensional, and but I mean, yeah, there's you gotta. It is definitely about the character, that superstar um mentality to get you looked at more, stand out more. Like we were saying, go back to WWE. Like everyone, they Vince is gonna give you a character no matter what. Like if you don't have a character, he's gonna probably get rid of you. Like or if you can be the greatest wrestler in the world like Daniel Bryan, but they give him that gimmick, the yes gimmick and stuff, and that really got him over. And they didn't even think it was going to get him over, and it did. But so
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's again, and I should specify, high flyers are not the only ones like this. I have seen
Oh
bigger
yeah.
guys do the same thing. Um, uh, hmm, trying to think because I someone on Dark that didn't really have a bunch of background, but
Hmm.
either way, it's same idea. And
Yeah.
seeing someone that expands on that and tries to keep that element that maybe from the past alive is good to see.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I always say what's old is new again. Like
Mhm.
I'll watch old stuff. I'm like, oh, they did that. Oh, I can maybe use that, or turn it into my gimmick, or and do
Mhm.
that. And like people are like, whoa, where's that coming from? Like,
Right, exactly. Exactly. Well, I won't keep it any longer. I appreciate you coming on.
well, no
Thank you.
problem.
You want to, besides the Intergender Bonanza 10, which we talked a lot about,
Yeah.
is there anything
Yeah.
else you want to put out there?
No, Enter jumping into 10. Just keep an eye out on all of my social media. I believe now I'll put my social media real fast. Evil Stan Styles is now the Twitter handle. Energy Bonanza. Um, IG Bonanza for Twitter. I've been trying to get on Twitter more. That's like the big thing now. Just Energy Bonanza on Instagram. Stan Styles on Instagram. Yeah, just keep supporting wrestling. Go to shows. I know COVID, it's crazy, or at least watch it on streaming and keep supporting it. Because we love what we're doing. I love what I've been doing. And yeah, the Bonanza November 20th, Williamstown, New Jersey, H12, the H12 Wrestle Center, 8 p.m. on Audio TV. But if you want to attend it live, front row tickets are $30, and general admissions $25. And like I said, Bonanza Mania is the biggest, and dare I say the best Bonanza yet. Because man, it's going to be a night to remember. There's going to be a lot of. I keep saying, WrestleMania memories. We're going to have some Bonanza memories, big time on that night.
That's awesome. And it's up in New Jersey. That's why I'm streaming, because I'm
Williamstown,
down in
Jersey.
Florida.
Yeah, yeah. Uh,
So far away. So far away.
got IWTV. Thank God for IWTV.
Oh, yeah. And I'm going to plug IWTV a little bit. There's so much to watch.
Just content
Uh,
galore. Yep.
Independent wrestling wise is ridiculous. I actually have notifications turned on, and there's almost a show every night of the
Yep.
week.
Yep.
And then you
Hmm.
have backwards content. You can actually see stuff from Kevin Steen, aka Kevin Owens. You can see things from
Yep.
John Moxley from well before they joined the WWE. So definitely worth
It's
checking.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I went down a Kevin Steen C4 rabbit hole last week.
It's
So
crazy. Yeah.
yeah, thank you again.
Oh, no problem, man.
That was the interview with Stan Stylez. Thank you guys for tuning in here. We will have other episodes and interviews going up here shortly. One being with a philosopher, and this is interviews with a philosopher, and the other one with someone that runs their own wrestling promotion. So we have that coming up. I also probably will record an episode here talking about what's been going on in the wrestling world, if you will. We just had Crown Jewel. We just had Bound for Glory. We had AEW Dynamite, which was on Saturdays the past couple of weeks, as well as Rampage. So there's a little bit to cover and a little bit of storylines to cover, if you will. So that will be coming up here shortly. Now you can get us on Facebook under Wrestling Still Cool Podcast. So that has grown over to 200 people. Or Facebook.com Wrestling Still Cool Pod. Twitter is Wrestling S Cool. Instagram is Wrestling Still Cool. I think that's it. I'm still building the blog. I'm doing the top 10 first, which is talking about top 10, my top 10 best themes, talking about entrance themes, and the top 10 worst themes. I do realize in going through the list, I probably have differing opinions than people have posted on social media previously. So that'll be interesting, and I fully expect some sort of response to that. If you want to follow me on TikTok, it's KM_wrestling still cool. I do try to talk a little bit of wrestling, but lately there's been a little bit of political talk. But even then, I try to keep that a little bit low. It is something that I'm personally opinionated at, but it's something I try to do less of, just because there's really no winning on that, because politics is one of those that everyone has a differing opinion. As long as we can come to a mutual understanding, that's all I really look for in kind of discussion with that. You could be different than me. As long as we can come to a mutual understanding, we'll be fine. But in any case, that's what's going on. I appreciate you guys for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed the rest of your day, week, whatever you got going on. We're a week away from Halloween at this point.